Alright guys, I was at the EMS Expo over here and I'm looking at all the new ambulances coming out and I was struck by something. See, in law enforcement, we're pushing really hard to get lights on the sides of the cars, fender flare lights, things like that, because we all know that that critical angle, that 45 to 90 degree angle on emergency vehicles when they're coming through intersections is critical, right? On police cars, police departments, we're having a hard time getting that done on a regular basis. It's only the nicest cars that have those, and we still see a lot of patrol cars in major metropolitan areas that don't have side-mounted warning lights. And I want to point something out about the EMS industry. None of these ambulance companies would be caught dead selling an ambulance that doesn't have lights specifically made to put out at a 45-degree angle when you're coming through an intersection or a 90-degree angle. Look at this. They actually mount them to the front end of the car at an angle sticking out from the ambulance, so that way they get more side warning. All of them have that. Every single one. And beyond the outside ambulance lights,
well, we'll see. I don't know.
a lot of them have them along the bottom of the ambulance like you would for on nicer cars. Let's find one here that's got them along the outside edge. This is like the standard here. Now, this is what we have where I work too. EMS has fender lights on top of the ones up front. All right. And they're running them on the baseboard. So if you're in a low-sitting car, they catch your attention. And up high. That's what we need to do. They're setting the standard, and we're falling behind, especially in larger agencies. You don't see a lot of big departments that are putting as much effort into their police cars as they do into the ambulances. Because the ambulance industry is very liability conscious about hurting patients, people getting hurt. They're very safety conscious. And this is the safety conscious things that we can do that's cheap insurance for the guys working the street that I think should be thought of more. Right? So that's my thought about it. You'd see every one of them. St. Louis Fire Department, right? Major agency. Lights on the fenders. Duh. It's kind of silly that we don't do it. That we don't do it more in LE. And all of them take the entire side of the vehicle and mount lights across the top. And the newer, better vehicles are mounting lights across the top and not just on the front. But here's another one from St. Louis. 45-degree lights up top too. Not just a bar, and hopefully some of it gets over there, but actual 45-degree lights up there on the top. So if you're in a semi, you can see them well too. Something to think about. There are many ways where EMS is significantly smarter than us in how they're doing things. And emergency vehicle lighting is definitely one of them. Their sirens are obnoxious too, which I like. All right, we'll go back to the top. We'll do the comments really quick. Hope you enjoy Vegas. I am enjoying Vegas quite a lot. Free field training, question mark. Yes. This is, Nicholas, if you're new, this is my YouTube channel. I am a police officer in Illinois, and I am a training officer. And I have made YouTube videos on simple training topics, and like this one, and commentary on how we do things like this, and gear reviews. You should check out the rest of the channel, and if you like something, you should subscribe and pass it along to people, especially your new guys. They can learn a lot of skills that maybe don't come up at the academy, don't come up in field training because it just doesn't come up in the course they're doing it. Like my first video was like counterfeit currency and how to detect it. Something that's a legitimate skill that a lot of people don't get real regular training on, but I think it's important. And you can just, the rookie doesn't know something, send them to that video. Then you don't have to explain it, which is why I made the videos. So I could start giving them to people that I was training and be like, you can do this while I'm doing my paperwork. Hey Tommy, hope you're having a great day. John Lyons says hello. Have you ever been to Israel to get tactical training? No, I haven't. I'm lucky I can afford to go to Vegas. Hey, what are you doing at the EMS Expo? I am here looking at cool stuff. It is not everybody that can say that going to Vegas for a week is tax deductible. So it is for me, and so I'm here. And you get to see stuff before it comes out. Like everybody goes to SHOT Show, but a lot of the things that I'm interested in aren't necessarily gun related. I would love to go to SHOT Show, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to afford it. But it's not always gun-related stuff that excites me. Like there's a lot of new tourniquet companies here, a lot of new fire department equipment, a lot of new warning lights, a lot of new trauma kits, stuff like that is here. A lot of new body armor companies. People are coming out and do stuff all the time. And this one comes before, and it's cheaper. Cheapskate Redneck says, is live PD and cops a good representation of policing in the U.S.? No, not even close. I know it's filmed on the street, but they're not doing things the way you would do. You would never read someone their rights and then interrogate them in the back of the car about a domestic. That's stupid. No one would do that. Stefan says, I'm starting a security company. I feel your videos are a huge asset. Please feel free to share them around. Based on Nicholas Otis's picture, he looks like a Leo. I would only assume so. G. Wagner says, that's so smart to just have them watch videos while you fill out paperwork. I hate to break it to you, but the only reason they ended up on YouTube was it's easier than carrying a flash drive around. So this kind of happened by accident in the long run when you look back at it. It's kind of an accident that it got this big. Kind of going to use, I use a Glock 35. We got other videos on that. You can check them out. The duty belt video, why cops use 40, that type of stuff. I talk about why I use that one. Sean T says, how can you tell if you have the right personality to be a cop? There is no right or wrong personality. It takes all kinds. So go give it a try. There's lots of people, at least half the people that go to the police academy end up not doing a 20-year career for one reason or the other. So give it a shot. If it isn't for you, there's no shame in it not being for you. You do a few years, you get out. John Lyon says, is the military a good way to get into law enforcement? It can be. It can be. You're going to learn a lot of good skills in the military that transfer over. Not everything transfers over, not even the majority of it transfers over, but learning how to work in a paramilitary organization and follow rules transfers over. Wearing the uniform transfers over. A lot of stuff transfers over, especially if you do MP in the military. But the real big thing is that a lot of agencies will look at military time the same as they look at education. So it helps you meet education requirements in a lot of places. Like my PD, she's 4 years active duty military, is 4 years in college. Nicholas Otis says, can I get a shout out? I love your video. I subscribe and do a Q&A. This is Nicholas Otis. That's his shout out. I guess he has a channel. Go look at it. I don't know. I haven't seen your channel, man, but I can check it out later. Unpronounceable Dweck, which I don't think is how you're supposed to pronounce it. You should definitely go there, top of the game in that field, okay? Veronica says, I want to be a cop, but I have no experience in nothing. Where can I start? You get in good shape, and you turn 21, and you start applying at places that don't have educational requirements if you don't have any education. And then from there, you can either go to college, or you can go into the military. And each of those things, the longer you do them, the better your odds are that an agency is going to see you as a big asset. So that's the long story short. Oh, and don't get in trouble. Helps if you don't get in trouble. Start studying for the drug test. But that's it. It's not that hard of an industry to get into. It's a hard industry to stay in. Dawn Pitrol says, what about security vehicle lights? You should do a video on that, trying to figure out a good setup. The best setup I found for security vehicle lights is a magnetic mount strobe on the roof for most purposes, because what you want to do is you want to draw attention to yourself, and if you do have a hazard in the roadway, you want people to see you. So the single beat strobes actually work best because people don't know exactly where the car is at if they're going at high speed, and so they pay more attention. Barring that, if you have more money, the best thing to do if you're setting up a security vehicle is to get a traffic director on the back of the car. Google up a traffic director. Those are awesome because then you can direct traffic around you, and they're really useful. It's a useful tool instead of just, throwing light around. It came for the emergency lights, and I wonder why you shaved. LOL. Hey, the work said I had to shave. I actually did, so I had to. Xversify. That's actually funny that you mentioned get in shape. As I said, I started academy in January, and I'm so out of shape I can barely run a 12-minute mile, so yeah, I'm behind. Just get out there and start doing it. Do a little more every day. You'll be fine. Thanks for a play about the personality. Can you pan the camera around so we can see how big the expo is? YouTube has been freaking out lately about showing people's faces. So, not really. What kind of knife do you like? I like all types. I like knives. I'll pan it around real quick. We'll see. There we go. This is just a corner. You know what? I'll go to the front of the expo. I'll go to the front of the expo and I'll show you the round trip around here. Try not to catch anybody's face because I don't want anybody freaking out that they're on a YouTube video. People are weird about that in public service. So I am in the far corner of the expo, and it runs all the way down to that wall. So it's pretty big, and all the way down to that wall. So It's a fairly large convention, relative. I mean, it's no SHOT Show or anything, but all right. That's gonna be about it. So unless anybody has any more questions, we'll see you guys a little later. I'm probably gonna be doing a live stream with Safe Life Defense at their booth, but I don't know what's gonna be on. It might be on their Facebook page. So keep an eye on that. If you haven't followed them on Facebook, go follow them on Facebook. Turn your notifications on so you can see they're doing a live stream. All right. See you guys a little later.